Hello everybody. Today I want to talk about the distorted feminine, or you could call her the twin flame chaser, or the person with the anxious attachment style. Stay tuned for the entire video and make sure you like and subscribe, because the next video we're going to talk about the male perspective, the perspective of the twin flame runner or distorted masculine or avoidant attachment style. I actually think I can say something about both, since I'm pretty sure I used to have the anxious avoidant attachment style, which is both in one. So when you have that, yeah, you've got a lot of work to do. But let's start in this video with the distorted feminine energy. It is of course no surprise, and I've talked about this in other videos, that she would attract somebody who is avoiding feelings. It usually comes from a very similar wound. And here it can actually go both ways, and I'll explain to you what I mean. I have spoken to thousands of people and analyzed, of course, everything, and so I figured out that it is not just that the person with the anxious attachment style has been neglected and is now longing for that love. It really can go either way for both of them. So let's say one person had a mother that was very warm and maybe smothering, but it was felt like a good thing. So mom was there, she was maybe overprotective, and the child did not really get the chance to develop themselves and to learn things by themselves because mom was always there. That can develop in somebody getting the anxious attachment style, because then they grow up and now they're an adult and they're trying to replace that within them, that kind of really nurturing feeling. And when they don't have it, they can get really scared. So they're trying to look for a spouse, but it's out of lack. I'm not saying that love is not involved, that they fall in love with someone, but they still have this frequency of, oh my God, I miss something so much. I miss someone really taking care of me. And then they attract somebody who's mirroring them that wound. Look, you need to learn to take care of yourself. And that is getting mirrored back by the other person not being there. But it could be the other way around. It could be that the person who has the anxious attachment style may have had a mom that was either not there physically, maybe because she died, because you grew up someplace else, a foster system or whatever, or you grew up with your grandparents, or mom was not like completely gone, but she had to work a lot, or she had her attention elsewhere and not as much on you. Or maybe she was around, but she was not a loving, kind and nurturing person. And that as well can develop some kind of need, like you've never felt that kind of love, but you want it so much. And then when you are an adult and you fall in love, that inner need, that inner lack, that inner void is also getting mirrored back to you by attracting somebody with the avoidant attachment style. So they're not there, they're run. And they have to, in order to show you, look, there is an imbalance, a program that you picked up in childhood, but now you're an adult, now it's your responsibility to deal with that program. So it can happen actually both ways. Overprotective mom, or mom not there. And why mom not dad? Well, for some people it could be dad. It could be, of course, a tragic loss, like dad died, or a divorce when you were young, like we're talking about the first 7 years in your lives, most likely, because that's when we get programmed. Otherwise, of course, a trauma that happened later on can still program us. But it's usually mom, even though many psychiatrists say no, it's for women, it's more dad. But dad issues would more likely show up. That is connected to our inner masculine, and inner masculine topics are more, how do I get seen at work? How successful am I at work? Do I get praise at work? And can I fulfill myself financially? That's more dad issues. Mom is usually the first person where we have this connection with, because she's the one who feeds us, breastfeeds us, and she's the one who usually takes more care of the baby. Of course, in situations it could be different, that mom went to work and dad stayed at home, for example, and dad was the number one parent, because man can be in the feminine energy and women can be in the masculine energy. That of course could have been, and then it would be dad if your dad had more the traditional women's role. But usually this is very much connected to mom, because mom is the first person where we learn to bond with other people. Dad comes a little later, because in the first month or year or so we don't need dad as much as we need mom. Well, maybe if you don't get breastfed and then dad is taking that role again, that might be a little different, but usually it is mom. So here's the issue, and we do get programmed in the first 7 years of our lives. You can check out videos by Bruce Lipton, Dr. Bruce Lipton, or Joe Dispenza. Dr. Bruce Lipton is talking a lot about us being in the theta brain wave state the first 7 years, and theta is the state where you get programmed, and you can use the theta state which we fall in meditation, or when we fall asleep or wake up, or during sleep when we have like a light sleep or the REM phase, then we often fall into this theta state. So we can use that to reprogram our mind. That is why meditation can be so vital for a spiritual journey. So anyway, we have a person, usually it is the divine feminine, not divine, at this point very much distorted feminine energy. I'm just saying her, even though it can be a male, okay? But we're talking about feminine energy. So the feminine energy, yes, she has that inner need, and she needs a mirror to show her what her own inner need is. So she's trying to replace mom, or replace that voice she never had, and she projects that onto the guy. But the problem is, I just recently recorded a video talking about the inner masculine, how he is just a fragment of yourself, or a projection of your own inner masculine. But the problem is, your own inner masculine is part of you, which means he has been through the same trauma that you have been, because he's part of you, he was there. And then when your divine masculine, or your person, your twin flame, is a reflection of your own inner masculine, how do you want to attract a healthy guy? By healthy, I mean somebody who has the healthy attachment style. It's not possible, because that does not match your frequency, because your own inner masculine has been, for lack of a better word, damaged as well. So if the masculine within you is damaged, and your person is nothing but a projection, a mirror of your own inner masculine, well, the mirror of course cannot show you, I choose you. It's not possible. But the woman, the feminine, she gets into this chasing mood because she fell in love, and usually when we're talking about twin flames, there's instant attraction or very intense connection. And it has to be very intense and beautiful in the beginning. I always tell my clients, imagine you attract someone and they're immediately a jerk day one. There will not be a day two, because you haven't formed a connection yet. So you need to have beautiful beginning phase usually. I mean, some twin flames, they have this instant connection and they don't get to talk much, and it's just the eye contact that happens too. But usually the template is, you do have a couple of beautiful weeks or months. Often the other person acknowledges, yes, I do have that feeling, and then there is like a switch and it changes practically overnight. We need this honeymoon phase, because we need, in order to really dig into our shadows, to create this beautiful bond, because if that bond is not there, then we'll just go to the next person. So we need to have these beautiful memories, we need the intensity that is building up in the beginning, and then the program runs, that shows us where our hidden stuff is. So she's feeling that void, and that is why she keeps contacting him often and chasing him. And chasing, by the way, does not mean I call him like 20 times a day. Even though I've heard from many clients, they in the beginning do that. He withdraws and they're texting, okay, what's happening? When you're not texting back, where are you? And he doesn't reply. And then they do it again. And he doesn't reply, and then they do it again, and then they see that he maybe even read the messages, and then they do it again, and then they also try to call, and then they write emails, and then they look online and try to look from this perspective, this Instagram, whatever. They go really like nuts and try to get in touch with their person, because at that stage they are not respecting that the other person needs a little time out, and they're putting their own needs over the other person's needs. That's really needs that time out right now. But by that, they keep pushing the other person away. Always compare it. Imagine you connect with the person and then you share the feminine and masculine energy. You have 100% of each together. By masculine and feminine, I mean the emotional and the rational energy. And the feminine, the distorted feminine, she is stepping out of her center as soon as he goes because he has to, or he's not reaching out. And the distorted feminine energy is impatience, it's fear, it's anger sometimes, it is that pain, the deep-rooted pain that's coming up, the feeling of neglect, the fear of loss. And let's say she's stepping out of her center, now she has 70% of the emotional energy within her, but she's sharing her energies with him, so he only has 30% emotional energy left, and he has to balance it out. And he steps into, or maybe he's the one who stepped out of the center first. It doesn't matter. The other person is always mirroring that back. So he has 70% masculine energy, distorted masculine energy, which means oppressing their feelings, running away, not talking, withdrawing. She feels that gap that is created, and she steps even more into the fear and tries to pull him back, but he's just going even further. So the more you try to get in contact with your person, the more you obsess, the more you push him away. When we talk about chasing, I do not only mean contacting. Chasing is also an energetic thing. Constantly obsessing about them, but obsessing about their absence, spying on what are they doing online, trying to want to know everything, watching 30 pick-a cards a day, or calling 5 psychics a day. And I do have clients like that, where I know they're going from one to the other, to the other, to the other. That is still very much this obsessive chasing energy, and it is impossible to draw them back in when you are in this energy. The only way is to address your things, your distorted energy, the fears and all of that, to step into your center. And when you step more into your center, you pull them back in, and then all of the oppressed feelings for them, they come up and they have to address them. And the masculine is usually faster because the feminine maybe learns to step into her center after a while, and then she gets back out and in and out and in, and she has this on off, and that is often getting mirrored back with an on off situation with them. But she learns to step into her center and to hold that for the biggest part. Nobody is always 100% in their center, and that is completely fine. It's not about perfection. It's about noticing when you stepped out and getting back in. That's the thing we have to learn. So she's learning to hold her center, which means he cannot constantly oppress, because when he steps into the distorted masculine mode, she immediately steps into the distorted feminine mode, which may not have been at this point all of the fears because she's cleared those, but it may be like impatience coming up. But she has learned to deal with that and steps back into her center and pulls him right in, and he has to do his shadow work. And they often do it different. I always say the woman, she works on herself, she does the meditations, the affirmations, whatever it takes for her, whereas the guy, I think it works within him. So it's more a passive approach, and I more imagine them lying in bed at night, and then their thoughts coming up, and then they are processing their things once the feminine holds her center. So how long this journey takes actually depends on the feminine, not the masculine, because the feminine, she's the one who is in pain. The one who's oppressing is usually not the person who notices, oh, I'm oppressing stuff, maybe I should look at that. No, it's the person who's in pain, who's like, oh my God, I cannot deal with this, I need to change something. And then the other person, the masculine, can follow. But yeah, the distorted energy, the feminine energy, is very much connected to the chasing energy. You all have figured that out, I'm pretty sure. But I'm also pretty sure it is as well connected to the anxious attachment style, and I would recommend to read more about that, because when you understand it well, then you can do something, you can change something. But what is not going to happen if you stay in the distorted feminine and you want your person to come, 100% guarantee you it's not going to happen. The longer you wait for them to come, the more you freak out. And maybe some of you even are in this angry energy. Oh, they do this to me, being in this victim mentality. Honey, not going to happen, because they are a mirror of you. And with a real mirror, if you eat unhealthy, you have acne, you would not yell at the mirror. It's your own skin that is getting reflected back to you. So you don't have to try to argue with the mirror, you don't have to try to clean the mirror, you don't have to send energy to the mirror to show you something else. No, you change your diet. In this situation, your diet is your thoughts, and the mirror automatically reflects something else, because every step on your healing journey impacts your own inner masculine as well, your own inner child, your own inner feminine, your own inner masculine. And as we said earlier, your guy, your person, is just a projection of your own inner masculine. So if you deal with that, he will automatically change. You can check out my latest video. I'm talking more in depth about that. But yes, that is the link between distorted feminine energy, chasing, and avoidant attachment style. So in the next video, we're talking about the perspective of the masculine. How's he feeling? Why is he the way he is? So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to check it out. Please also like and comment on this video. All of that will help me grow my channel. If this video helped you, please forward it to others. We want to help the Twin Flame Collective rise. And if it really helped you and you want to honor all of the effort and time I put into these free videos for you, because my channel is still too small to get monetized, and you want to leave a little tip, well, my PayPal link is below. And I do see you in another video or in a personal coaching. Until then, I do wish you all the best now. Bye bye.